I'm Laura. I'm a running coach and PT. Over the past 7 years, I've taught hundreds of women how to start running and trained them all the way up to anything to a marathon. I started these videos for some additional training for them to do, but I've been surprised by how many other people have been looking at them. So if you find them useful, please subscribe, and then I will know that you want me to do some more. Today we're going to do a dumbbell strength workout. So you can do this without a weight, or you can use alternatives, you know, the classic tin of beans, a bottle. Don't use a bottle of wine, it's glass, it might smash, and wine's quite precious. But maybe a milk carton, fill it with water after you've finished it, or sand, anything. Or just do it without a weight is fine too. You can then work up to adding a weight in once you get a bit more confident at doing it. So if you've got any questions, you can find me on social media. Everywhere is Lazy Girl Running. Or pop them in the box below and I will answer them. Strength training for runners, do it 2 to 3 times a week. If you're new to it, start with 2 times a week and then you can build up to adding that third in. It should be something to supplement your running rather than make your running harder. So if your running is suffering because you're too tired from the strength training, just scale it back a bit. Maybe do less reps or lower weight. If you do it on your non-running days, if you're running 2 to 3 times a week, that will give you still time to have some rest days. If you're training 4 or more runs a week, then do it on your easy days so that you can still keep that rest day for complete rest. So beginners, we're going to do 7 exercises today, and we're going to do them twice over. So if you're a beginner, you can start with once through and build up to 2. If you're a bit more experienced, 2, and then maybe take in a 3rd time. So this is my weight. It looks really impressive, doesn't it? But it's 4.5 kilograms. Even if your weight is feels quite light to you in terms of your strength, it's still going to add a little bit more of a challenge because the way that your body is used to operating is without that weight. So it's just going to challenge your core that little bit more because it's going to have to stabilise the fact that you've got a weight on one side. That's why we're using one weight today, one dumbbell, rather than a pair of them, to challenge our body a little bit more to have to stabilise because that weight's imbalanced. So I think that's covered everything. If there's anything that you need to ask, pop it in the comments and I will answer it. We'll start with a warm-up and then we'll bring in the weight for the main session. So if you haven't already got one, maybe grab a towel or a bottle of water and we'll get started. Okay, I'm barefoot again, so let's start with a little jogging on the spot. If you're going lower impact, then start with some marching. I've gone barefoot again today. You can have your trainers on if you want, bare feet, entirely up to you. But the session's going to be not too much jumping around, so that's why I'm bare feet today. Okay, let's take out star jumps. If you want the lower impact version, there they are. Just keep that tempo up. Good, okay. Semi-squat, so bring your arms up. Little bit of a squat though, not too far down. Just waking those muscles up. Telling them they're about to do some work. Okay. Little step forward. Arms above the head as you go. And then backwards. Adding a little bit of a tiny calf stretch there as we go back. Trying to put that heel back onto the floor. Okay, back to a little jog or your march. Make some hands on your shoulders. Make some circles there. We're going to bring in your upper body for your strength, as well as the lower body, so we're making sure we warm up. Let's go opposite way with those arms, so warming up the upper body too. Good. Okay, feet a bit further than hip width apart, and we're going to touch one toe and then the other. Good. Wrapping those arms round, big hug one way and then the other. Okay, heels up to your bum. You can do it marching like that, or a little bit quicker if you want. Just bring in those arms as though we're running along. That rear arm drive, elbows going backwards. And high knees at the front. Knee to elbow. Good. And last one, hands on your hips. Make some circles with those hips. Invisible slow hula hooping. And back the other way. Whew. Okay, a little bit warmer, hopefully. So take your weight, and we're going to first start with a squat and raise. So we're going to go for 10. If you are a beginner, go to 8. And if you're, depending on how heavy your weight is, scale it back accordingly. So make sure you can do, say if you do 6 well rather than 10 and the last few are very wobbly and you're struggling. Stick with what level's right for you. So we're going to squat, knees stay over the ankles, bum goes back, and then when we stand up, we're going to put the weight up in the air. So, like that. You ready? 10 of those. Let's go. Squat, lift. So driving that bum back, as though you're going to sit on the chair. 9, 10. Good. So, single leg deadlift, but we're going to do it kind of 1.5 legs, maybe, let's call it. So we're going to keep one foot firmly planted on the floor, but with a slight bend in the knee. Don't lock that knee out. Take your weight in your opposite foot, and then take your foot back, just so that that toe remains in contact. Then you're going to bend forward, but the bend needs to come from the hip. So your chest going down towards the floor, like so, and back up again. So I didn't go all the way to horizontal. You don't need to go all the way to horizontal. Go at where's right for you. Keep that toe in contact. It's still hard on this leg, but it just keeps you from wobbling a bit, and so you can concentrate on that movement coming from the hips, so that your back is staying nice and straight and not bending. Okay, have I talked enough to give you a sufficient rest from the last one? Let's go. If you keep your hand, the back of your hand on the back of your lower back, then you can kind of feel if you're keeping the back straight and keep from rounding off. Okay, so remember, don't lock this knee out. You can bend it a bit more, whatever's right for you. Let's go. 10 of these. And you might find, depending on how tight your hamstrings are, that you're feeling a bit of a stretch there. So go wherever is right for you. If you need a little bit of extra stability and you think you've nailed the straight back, you can take your arm out to the side if that helps, or ahead. 7. Good. You feel that? Probably, yeah. We're going to stop over, we're going to go straight into the other side now. So, one leg firmly planted, the other leg going back, keeping that toe in contact. And if you're feeling comfortable, you can always take that toe off as you go down, as you feel a bit more confident doing it. I'm going to hit that. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. If you are doing the toe up version and you're finding you're wobbling a lot, then just bring your toe in. It's not cheating. Make sure that movement comes from the hip. Last two. Good. Okay, shake those legs out. We're going to bend again. So keep an eye on that posture again. We're going to do a bent over row. So one option you can do, if you've got a firmish bench or my sofa's fairly firm, you can do one knee, one hand on, and then take the arm in the other, take the weight in the other arm. Keep that knee under the hip and the hand under the shoulder and come up like that. Or you can do it standing. So we're going to stand with a little bend in our knees, straight back, chest up, and the arm stays close to the body, and elbow bends, and the weight comes up. So we're ready for 10. So this is good for your arm drive when you're running. If you've got a, if the weight is fairly light for you, you might be tempted, two more. You might be tempted to rush through those because you're finding it fairly easy. But if you do make the movement slow, it makes it a little bit harder than going fast. Kind of opposite of what you'd expect, but concentrating on that movement, making it nice and slow and controlled, can make a lightweight heavier. Okay, back into position, bum out, go. Last one. Good. Hopefully you can see how that replicates that arm drive, good upper body strength that's going to help with that. Next one, take your weight on the floor between your, in front of you, but between your feet. Wide stance, a bit further than hip width apart. You're going to reach down, pick up that weight, take it in the air. Now if your weight is heavy for you, then bring it to shoulder and then up. Drop it back down and then pull it down. So when we're going down and up to get the weight, again, we're not going to bend over, hunched over. Just drop your bum and back behind a bit. Reach down if you need to bring your bum down a bit lower like a squat. Do. If you can pivot a little bit from the hip, then do that. Okay? But keeping the back straight, whichever option you go with. Are you ready? We're going to do, we're going to alternate hands. So each hand ends up doing 5, but we're doing 10 of the movement altogether. Are you ready? Let's go. Last set. Good. A little bit warmer, a little bit sweatier. hopefully. So next we're going to do a reverse lunge, bringing in the weight. But as you see, you don't need the weight for these. So the last exercise, you can just touch the floor and bring your hand back up. The bent over row a little bit harder to do without a weight, but something light would work there. Okay, lunge with taking the weight overhead. So we're going to do a reverse lunge. So we're going to do stepping back into it, and as we do that, we're going to take the weight above our head, okay? If you don't feel confident lifting the weight above your head, if it's a bit heavy for you, then you can bring it to halfway and down, or you could do it without the weight, just take your hands up and down. What we're doing is we're trying to keep our body nice and upright, and it's challenging our core that little bit more because it's having to stabilise us while this weight moves around. So let's go for, let's do 8 each side, yeah? If you're feeling up to it, carry on for 2 more. Let's go. So front knee stays over the front ankle. Last one. I much prefer reverse lunges to forwards because 2 reasons. It's the way that you're driving is a lot more similar to running, but also you see people do forwards lunges and the knee, because you're stepping forward, there's that tendency to have that knee drift over the front of the foot rather than staying over the ankle, whereas if you are stepping back into your lunge, it's more likely that the ankle's going to stay over the knee's going to stay over the ankle. It's the exercise, get into me. Okay. Right, I've forgotten which leg I did. Hopefully you're going to swap over to whichever one's right for you. Are you ready? 8 more the other side. Two more. Good. So your dominant side, so if you're right-handed, your right side is going to be dominant, will usually be stronger, more stable than your less dominant side. So this is what you might find when it's when it involves balancing slightly and we're doing one side then the other. You naturally go for your dominant side first because it's dominant. That's just the way we're prone to work. So when you come to the next side, you think, oh God, this is harder, and that's why. So that's why it's particularly important to work that non-dominant side. You could try and, if you're doing something for a certain length of time in a circuit session, try and start with the side that you don't favour. It will take a bit of thought to do that, and then you make sure you get all the exercises done on that side before moving to the other side, if that makes sense. Just because that's the side that needs work more than the dominant side. Okay. Lateral lunges this time, so we're going to step one way. We've got the weight. Again, you don't need to incorporate if you don't want to, or you don't have it. And we're going to bring in a bicep curl as we step. Okay, so there's time. If you've got enough space, then let's do alternate sides. If you don't have enough space, let's do 8 one side and then 8 the other. Okay, let's go. Big step to the side, bum goes back, knee stays over the ankle, and you bring the weight up by bending those elbows. Okay, that's 1 round. 2. If you're feeling confident, Take it in one hand for the bicep curl and then the other. I've got just about enough space for swapping over here. Okay, 2 more. Last one. Good. Then we have one more exercise before we go back up to the top and go through them all again. So sumo squat, feet wider apart than in a regular squat, but a comfortable distance apart, and toes pointing outwards. And then you're going to simply drop down. You're going to take your weight in your hands and we're going to go down 10 times. Okay? So driving that bum back. If you're not confident on squats, you can do it in front of a chair and go almost down to the chair and then back up again. Okay? Are we ready? Let's go. So keeping that back straight and the chest up, keeping your gazer forwards. I recommend having a camera to talk to. It does keep your chest up and gaze forwards. 2 more. Last one. Good. If you've got the ability to do that in a gym, then you can take 2 steps and put one either side, nice and secure platforms, and the gap in the middle, and then you can squat. And it gives you room to go further because that weight can drop down into that void between them. Right, we've done all 7. So take a little drink of water or whatever you have to hand. Not that wine bottle. Not just yet. And then we're going to go through them again, then we'll do some core work. So, starting off with our regular squats and the weight up above our heads. Are you ready? Might want to lose the weight this time. You might want to add your weight this time if you thought it was going to be more challenging for you than it's turned out to be. Doesn't have to be exactly the same. Are we ready? Okay, go. Up, up. Last one. Good. So because having the weight and moving it around is challenging our core that little bit more, just make sure that you engage in it. Brace as though someone's about to punch you. See that those muscles are engaged. Bring your pelvic floor up and then go into the exercises. You'll notice that even just passing a weight from one hand to the other, you might notice how your midsection kind of compensates for that. That's what's good. That's what it's doing while we're working. Your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings might be kind of vying for more attention, so you don't notice that so much, but your core is working all the time, and it's important to make sure you engage it fully before we start each exercise. Okay, those single leg deadlifts. Bring the toe in. Remember, it's there as an option if you didn't put it down before, just because you might be more tired this time round. You ready? Ooh. Let's go. That's 7. can stop there if you need to. And 10. Okay, ready for the next side. Let's go straight into it. Swap the weight over, swap the leg over. Get that toe in contact. Make sure that knee's not locked out. And we'll go. Okay, good. We're going to do the picking up the weight again, bringing it up above our head. It's particularly important on this second time round because you might be more tired. Remember that range of reps that you do doesn't have to be fixed. So if you did 10 last time and this time you need to go to 8, 7, 6, stop before you get wobbly. So when it starts to be on the verge of too much of a challenge, just stop it there. Stop while you're nailing the movement. Okay, you ready? Feet apart, grab the weight up above your head. Go. Keeping that back nice and straight. Last one. Good. 3 more exercises. Doing the lunge, with the raise, sideways lunges, and your sumo squats. Are you ready? Take that way, both hands, and we're stepping back into our lunge. Try doing it on your non-dominant side first, see how that feels. So my dominant, I'm right-handed, my right leg, my massage therapist always tells me my right calf is bulkier, his word not mine, than the left one. So I'm going to work my left one first to see how that goes. Okay, that's 8. So you've got 2 more in you. Let's do 2 more. Good. My calf is bulkier, but that wasn't specific. We weren't specifically working my calf there. To clarify that, we're working the left side first. Are you ready? Swap sides. So that was my front leg. Now this is going to be my front leg. Okay. Ready? Go. That's 8. And we're going to go laterally with our bicep curl. You can take it in both hands, you can do one and the other. You can do 8 one side, then 8 the other. Or if you've got that just enough space, let's alternate sides. Okay, are you ready? Carrying on the theme, let's go our less instinctive way first. Go. is 6. If you want to stop there. And 8 is our last one. Good. We've just got our sumo squats left. We're going to have some water. You know, I do these exercises, I take these during my son's nap time, and often this is the working out is the last thing I want to do when he goes down for a nap. I want to sit on the sofa. So if that's how you feel about working out, then I completely get that. Let's do the, you ready for your sumo squats? Feet apart, toes slightly pointed outwards, weight in the middle. Let's go. With any type of exercise, running or strength training, when I really don't feel like, that's 2, 1, 2. When I really don't feel like doing it, I try and tell myself just do 5 minutes, and then if you're really hating it, we can stop there. So with whatever exercise routine you're doing, if it's a run or one of these videos or another session from somewhere, give yourself 5 minutes if you're really not feeling it, and then if you don't want to carry on, don't. Try it and then another day. Usually after that first 5 minutes you can kind of think, I'll keep going another 5 minutes. Let's do a little bit more as those endorphins start to hit. But sometimes it's just not your day, and I get that. Okay, we're going to go down to the floor. We're going to do a bit of core now. Just 4 moves. We're going to use the weight for a couple of them, but you don't need to. This is not essential. So take a seat. We're going to take the weight from either side to the other. We're going to pass it there and back 10 times. So keeping that back nice and straight again, and take your toes off the floor. Weight in both hands. 1, 2. It's like you're paddling. Nine, 10. Find it very difficult to talk and count and do the weight and keep my balance. To do a few more of these before I'm totally pro at talking and lifting and counting and not wobbling. Have a little rest. We're going to do it again for a second time before we move on to the next exercise. Are you ready? Get your position first, and if you need to keep keep your heels in contact, just lean slightly back and do it from there. It's 1, 2, 3. And last one. Good. So if you didn't have the weight, you'd do this motion still with your hands. Or you could just try and hold it for the duration, still challenging the core. We're going to do a bridge. We're going to take it up in the air and down. We're going to take our weight and hold it at our hips. Just add a little bit more weight to that load as we're pushing up. So bridge position, heels back under your knees, shoulders stay on the floor. You drive your hips up, think about those knees going that way. So add the weight in if you want to, or don't. It's up to you. So we're going to do 10 and then we're going to hold the last one. Keep those shoulders on the floor. No strain should be onto your neck. Let's go. And it's our last one. Let's hold it. Should really feel those glutes. Working hard now. 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and down. You can stay here because we're going to do it again for another 10. Just as soon as we've recovered a little bit. You ready to go again? Okay, let's go 10 more. Do more. And hold. So you're looking at the ceiling thinking, oh, there's a cobweb up there that I need to forget about until the next time I'm doing this exercise, and I think, oh, I need to get that cobweb. Okay, 3, 2, 1, down. Good. We'll do a plank. You can make fun use of your weight if you put it on the end there. We're going to go into a plank position. So hands we're going to high plank, so hands under your shoulders. Keep your toes, the closer your feet are, the more challenging it will be. So if you take them a little bit apart, you'll get a little bit more stability, and we're going to just touch that weight. Yeah? Let's do it 10 times. Are you ready? So that's 5 each hand. Let's go. Good. There is the option you could do a plank from your knees. So keeping that back straight still, but you're taking those knees down as though you're in a knee push up. And do the taps from there. So really thinking about that core, engage it, pull the pelvic floor up. And if 10's too much for you, as always, do fewer. Okay, you ready? Last 10. Good. We're going to finish with side plank. We're going to do 20 seconds each side, and then you are done. See if I've got enough space here. So you can stack your feet one on top of the other. You can put one in front of the other. That's slightly easier, makes it a bit more stable. And resting on your elbow. We're going to reach up with the opposite hand as we raise the hips up. Are you ready? Let's go. I'm at that 15. 20. Good. Swap sides. Ready to go into the next one? This is it. This is the last 20 seconds of your workout. Onto your elbow. Elbow onto your shoulder. Feet stacked or apart. And up we go. 15, 20. Good stuff. Okay, let's stay on the floor for a minute while we do a bit of stretching. Let's put our feet together and stretch the inside of those thighs. You can see how inflexible my hips are. But go wherever's right for you. Don't try to force those knees down to the floor if they don't want to go there. Should feel a gentle stretch. Stretches always kind of feel rather than Okay, one leg out long, 1 foot over, bring that knee towards you and twist your body towards that knee that you're hugging into you. Should feel it back here. And swap over, take that foot out long, opposite knee towards you. Good. Let's stretch out our back, heels back on your bum, forehead to the floor, reach those fingers right out ahead of you. And you can take it to one side and you'll feel the stretch on one side of your body, and then when you take it to the right you'll feel it on the left hand side of the body. Good. Stand up now, hands together, fingers interlaced, take those arms above your head. And behind, stretch out that chest. Let's do our quads while we're here. Hold on to the wall, even if your balance is great. I think when you're stretching out your quads, it's good to hold on so you can really concentrate on getting that stretch. Last one, hamstrings. Whew. Rest your hands on the bent knee. Don't push that knee the way it doesn't want to go. Really sticking your bum out, trying to lengthen that distance between your heel and your bum. Swap over, you can see it there, lengthening that out. Good, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you found it useful. Let me know how you got on. I'm on every social media as Lazy Girl Running, so do let me know. I'd love to see a picture of you doing it. And any questions you have, get in touch. If you're training for a particular distance, check out my training guides and please do remember to subscribe and I'll be back with another video. See ya!